before the days of ice-cold air blasting from our home vents. Summers were a different kind of challenge. Families spent hot afternoons sweating it out, relying on creative and sometimes strange methods to keep cool. No air conditioning, no high-tech fans, just a lot of ingenuity and a lot of sweating. Today, we're looking at 10 ways people stayed cool in the heat before air conditioning, when life was a little more sweltering but a lot more interesting. 1. Electric fans and handheld fans. Before modern air conditioning, the trusty electric fan was the go-to solution for many households. They didn't cool the air, but they sure did move it around. Families would set them up by open windows to catch the evening breeze, or aim them at the kitchen to cool off while cooking. On the go, a handheld paper fan was the perfect accessory, whether you were in a car, at a ball game, or in church. They didn't offer much relief, but they sure made you feel like you were doing something about the heat. 2. Ice-cold water in the basin. One of the simplest, yet most refreshing ways to cool off in the 1930s and 40s was with a bucket of ice-cold water. In homes without air conditioning, people would fill up a basin with ice and just stick their feet in. It was a quick and easy way to cool down, especially during those long, hot evenings. Plus, it was something the whole family could enjoy together while sitting on the porch and listening to the sounds of summer. 3. Window screens and cross ventilation. No air conditioning meant that every house had its own strategy for catching a breeze. Window screens were a must, allowing fresh air to flow through while keeping out bugs. People would often open windows on opposite sides of the house, creating a cross breeze that kept the air circulating. It was nature's version of air conditioning, and it was as effective as you could get when it was too hot to sleep. 4. Ice delivery to your door. Before refrigerators were common in every home, people relied on ice delivery services. Every couple of days, icemen would arrive at homes with large blocks of ice, delivering a fresh supply to cool the family's water or food. These huge blocks of ice were often stored in ice boxes to keep food fresh, but they also provided a much-needed cooling experience. 5. Wet cloths and handkerchiefs. A damp cloth could work wonders when the heat was unbearable. People would soak handkerchiefs, towels, or washcloths in cool water and drape them over their faces or necks. This method, known as cooling with a wet cloth, was a common way to beat the heat. The coolness from the fabric was a welcome relief, even if it was just temporary. 6. The garden sprinkler. For kids, the garden sprinkler was the best way to cool off. On those scorching summer days, families would set up the sprinkler in the front yard, and the kids would run through it, laughing and playing. The refreshing spray of water offered instant relief, and it was a summer tradition for many, even into the 70s. There's something special about the sound of a sprinkler and the sight of kids in bare feet, trying to avoid getting too wet. 7. Open porches and sleeping outdoors. When the heat was unbearable inside, people would sleep outside on open porches or in the backyard. Some homes didn't have air conditioning, but they did have the cool, fresh air of the outdoors. Family members would pull out lawn chairs or mattresses, sleep under the stars, and hope the breeze would carry them through the night. There was something magical about sleeping under a blanket of stars, especially after a long, hot day. 8. Shade and trees. Before air conditioning, people were masters of seeking shade. Trees played a crucial role in keeping cool during the summer months. It was a simpler yet effective way to enjoy the outdoors without frying in the sun. Many families spent afternoons under large trees, using them as a place to eat, rest, or even work. Sometimes, it was the only refuge from the relentless sun. 9. Natural fabrics and light clothing. In the days before air conditioning, clothing was one of the easiest ways to stay cool. Light fabrics like cotton and linen were popular in the 50s and 60s because they allowed the skin to breathe and absorb moisture. People would wear loose-fitting clothes, often in lighter colors, to stay comfortable during the hottest months. 10. Going to the movie theater. Before air conditioning, the movie theater was a perfect escape. Not only could you enjoy a good film, but it was one of the few places that had air conditioning. People would flock to the cinema in the summer to sit in the cool, dark theater for a couple of hours. It wasn't just about the movie. It was about getting away from the heat. For many families, It was an affordable way to beat the heat, especially during the peak summer months. There was something about the pre-air conditioning days that made summer feel slower, more laid back, and sometimes a bit more challenging. But these old-school tricks kept people cool and connected. Which one of these methods do you remember using? Or maybe you've got your own heat-beating secret from back in the day. Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe, and share for more nostalgic trips down memory lane.